time to stand and deliver
the music.
Welcome to the world of music.
It's DJ Sonic.
He hit the bass drum and the head burst.
Just for you.
Yeah, the head burst. And it was like, whoops, let's go back and listen to it. We listened to it and we thought it was good, but we thought, well, let's try it again. Now we got it down. Now the guys were relaxed. But of course, it was now after hours, no music shops were open. And that wound up becoming it. We never played it again.
It's a beautiful record. Beautiful.
I was very proud of it.
Yeah.
And it's funny. So remember I said I met Hall & Oates up there too. I got Daryl Hall to sing background vocals on Original Sin, by the way. And
actually,
I'm the one who... I changed the lyric. It was originally Dream on White Boy, Dream on White Girl. But I come from a home where my mom is black and my stepfather is white. And I just thought that if you're going to talk about Original Sin and you're going to talk about something that's maybe political or maybe uncomfortable, let's go Dream on White Boy, Dream on Black Girl, Dream on Black Boy, Dream on White Girl. And believe it or not, the band loved it. Management was nervous, and Tommy Mottola didn't even want Daryl Hall to sing on it. He said, what are you trying to do, get my band killed? But Daryl was cool. He sang it, and it became a smash. That was their first big #1 record.
So what that led for us, for our story, is we reach out to you and we ask you, can you listen to this song? Is there something, you can do with it? And that was the first, that was our first experience with the remix, right? And we send you the master tapes. I have no idea what you're going to do with it, but we just got a feeling if anybody can do something with it, it's you. And that was sampling technology. I mean, it was a playground at that moment, right? There's so much fun in that remix. And you're playing with ideas that are fresh, right? I mean, you're getting to do things that you haven't quite done before.
That was the first time. So I had just purchased a synclavier. Yeah. And that was my first sampling tool. And I never imagined taking source audio and writing with things that had already been performed. It was like, whoa, this is next level music. I mean, taking something that's already a performance and now performing with a performance. And I had never remixed anything in my life. So I couldn't think of it as a remixer. I had to think of it as the way I would have done it if you had called me in the first place. If we were all together and I had listened to it and had been hanging around and had a synclavier, I would have said, hey, what if we did this? Yeah. Because gear has always fascinated me, right? Everything that was new, I would always grab up. And so when I did that, it felt really satisfying to me. And I got to tell you, man, I think that one of the reasons why we've always been so close is because I know you remember that experience. So when I finished it, I was damn proud. I was so proud. I was so happy because I certainly didn't look at myself as a remixer. I looked at it as, I was composing with the guys. They had done their part. Now I'm coming in to do my part, so to speak. And I loved it. And when you guys called me and were blown away, you guys this is it. This is the shit. This is so strong. And then we hear back from the record company. I still remember Nick's voice on the phone. He was like a broken man. Like he's ready. He was like ready to cry. When they were saying that I made the record too black and that it would threaten your fan base. And I remember Simon going, this is what we want to sound like. Right. I was like, it was just such an incredible moment because it showed a real bond between artists. It was like us against the world. It was like the big corporate structure of, Capitol Records or whatever, EMI or whatever the label was officially at that time, against just us little guys. And I remember feeling so confident about the record because it felt like a real work of art. It was not just a remix to me. It was like, man, I got to repaint the Mona Lisa or something. I got to put I got to change her clothing or something. And I remember you guys having to take a stand. And I just said, hey, man, you got to do what you feel. But, put the record out. To hell with what they say.
It was,
and you did.
Yeah, profoundly powerful for us, that was, and I think it really, it took us, it gave us direction, when we were looking for it. I mean, actually, Wild Boys, which then we did together subsequently, really brought it all together. Everything that you've just explained, we wrote that. We knew what we were going to get. We knew that you were going to go back to New York and we were going to get all that wacky shit, but we built the chassis and the engine, with that knowledge. And I mean, it's just interesting because obviously there was a lot of things about the Reflex that we had to raise our, we had to raise our game to some degree with that song. And then we got to do Notorious together, which was different again, because then I feel that was quite an organic record for us to make, and we found a new direction. I mean, everything we've done, we've always had a good time. I think that's that's the key. We got to, just touring together. I mean, that's been incredible. I have to tell this anecdote because we've done a lot of shows together, and I think one of the last shows we did together, I think we were in Calgary or somewhere in Western Canada. And towards the end of the set, you would always invite fans up onto the stage. And so we thought, all right, let's give them a shot, and we all lined up and joined you guys on stage. And Nile, the energy on that stage. Oh my God, insane. My hair was like, when I came off, my hair was like, the power that band generates. I mean, I can only liken it to what I can imagine the Basie band, Duke Ellington's band, what they were like. These big R&B orchestras. You're the only guy. I don't think there's anybody else doing that. Doing what you're doing, and to get to do it with you is really, it's great, incredible experience for us.
Yeah, those last few gigs we did together were just tremendous. I mean, I don't think that we had a bad show. I mean, every show was fun. I met people that have now become our friends forever. When I think about my life, some of the closest people to me are still Duranis. I mean, the closest people. I mean, I've known them. They used to hang out in front of the power station when we were there, and have been in my life ever since then. And it just shows me how loyal your fan base is. And I think that has to do with how magical your music is. And I've always found it odd. It's funny, John, I don't really pay too much attention to what people say about me in the press or say about people in the press. But there are two things that I have memorized out of all the reviews that have ever been written about me or you guys. And I remember when we finished Notorious and the album came out, and New Music Express reviewed the album. And it said something to the effect of, just when you thought it was time to count these jerks out, they not only make a record that's good, but one that's worthy of respect. And I just thought to myself, wow, these guys, enemy must hate these guys because they have nothing but like great songs, Planet Earth, Girls on Film, Rio, like all this great stuff. And they They said, just when you thought it was time to count these jerks out, these jerks, these are the same guys who just did all these amazing songs. How could this? But I remembered it because it was so touching. Because most people don't realize what we had to go through to get the Notorious album done. You know, the countless nights of me standing there in the elevator with Andy, trying to convince him that his part totally was wrong. And him swearing to God that it was right. And, you know, I got along with everybody. So, you know, like, Andy, you think I'm picking on you? No, this shit sucks. It's wrong. Come back and fix it. And then I go fix it. And the next day he come back. What do you mean? You see, it sounds perfect. Yeah, because I played it when you were away or whatever. You know, it was just like, but after we did that record with all of the ups and downs and the the fact that we got it finished, and to me, it was just amazing. I love Winter Marches On, and I mean, it was amazing to pull that record off. And now you guys had Steve Ferroni and stuff, and just, I don't know, it was just great. It was an amazing experience.
Actually, The NME, not too long ago, I came across Danny Baker's review for Risque. And Danny Baker in The NME, he said, everybody around here thinks I'm crazy because they think it's going to be Johnny Thunders people are going to be talking about and listening to in 30 years' time, but it's not. It's going to be these guys. And he called it totally against the flow. And I was like, you know, kudos to Danny Baker for picking on it. Anyway, so here we are. We're in this, quarantine situation. Silver linings. What are you? You've been cooking. I'm ready for the Nile Rodgers cookbook. I don't mind telling you.
So I've. So I like spicy food, and as you know, so half the reason
as do I
recording with you guys back in the day because the only decent food in England was Indian food. But my lineage is West Indian, and on my father's side, we're from Barbados. Or at least his mother's from Barbados. And I learned to cook at a very, very early age. So I know a lot about stews and how to make vegetables as appealing as meat would be for most people. So I cook dishes that look like traditional meat dishes, and see that they're not weirded out about the fact that there's cauliflower for rice, because I cook it in such a way with olive oil, and I take it to the point of almost burning it, where it has a lot of firmness to it, and my veggies are all colorful and things like that. So I've been cooking a lot lately and getting back into the spices and that whole trip. As a matter of fact, every day I cook a sort of pot of food, because I know that's going to be my breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and it'll be my breakfast the following day.
Oh, wow. Good. That's organized.
Yeah, it's cool. It's very, very methodical.
Well, I hope we do get back on the road next year. It's difficult to tell, isn't it, where it's going? But, I think versatility, open-mindedness, willingness, these are the keys to surviving and keeping your artistic muse alive. I mean, it sounds pretentious, but we're servants to some degree. We've kind of got to go with the flow, and we've got to adapt our gifts to whatever's happening. I do want to ask you, I'm just curious, what do you listen to? You're writing a lot, so you're listening. What do you, if you want to listen to something just to chill out, what do you tend to listen to at home?
I actually don't listen to too much music to chill anymore, because just because there's not enough time. So typically, if I listen to something to chill out, it's something that I really love from my past. I have to admit that. So it'll be, John Coltrane or Eric Dolphy or Miles. But what makes me more relaxed than anything is actually practicing. I just pick up my guitar and I just like to practice. So rather than listen to, say Miles Davis play Nefertiti, I like to play it. I'll sit there and I'll play it. And it just, I feel great. I always say to myself, man, if I could make a living practicing, that would be the life I choose, because I could just sit around and play guitar all the time, try different techniques. I'm doing a lot of records now, and I'm exploring techniques that I haven't used at all in my life. One, because they were never, what would I say? They didn't propel the music forward in the way that, you've played with me a lot. I like the chuck. I like the groove. But now, I'm, doing a lot of slapping and working with harmonics and things like that. Also, I've never really been into show-off guitar playing, except for when I was younger. When I was younger, it was all about speed. That's how Bernard and I met, because we were doing a gig, and I was just all over the place. It was like we had to play like John McLaughlin. So lately, I've gone back into the speed playing, going back into taking, jazzy solos that are flying. Like I did the gig with Eric Clapton in England. It was probably one of the last gigs I played. And I was just like, okay, nobody ever hears me play like this. Here I go. I felt a little bit jerky, but in a way, I was happy to see Eric. Happy to see guys that I hadn't seen in years. To see Ron Wood, to see Sonny Emery, who used to be with Chic. It was just great, man. So we just wanted to jam, and once I got a chance to be up there with Steve Winwood, who actually was sort of with Chic for a while, or Chic was with Steve Winwood for a while. Steve was with me the night Bernard died. It was just great to be up there with so many people that I love and respect, and how this music business is this wonderful, loving environment that people that you may have had problems with in the past, now you love them and you see them and you miss them and you're just happy they're still walking.
Now we've got to wrap it up because in Duran's takeover of the internet, Simon's going to be on the hour. Simon's going to be talking to Tim Burgess about the Rio album. But honestly, man, I just want to say you've been a mentor to me for 40 years, and I'm proud to call you a friend. And I'm glad you're doing well.
Same with I think of you as one of my best friends. On our Chic gigs, when we're not playing with you, whenever we play Notorious or a Duran song, I always say, this is my other band. This is my other Chic.
It's a beautiful relationship, man.
It's
long
great,
may it continue.
Absolutely, man.
Thank you.
Please, love to the guys.
Yep.
Take care, man.
And yours. Take care.
Peace, brother.
Bye. Bye.
For your listening pleasure.